If you're here hunting for some emotional coddling, sweet talk, or a sneaky ego boost wrapped in sugar coating, hit that back button and scroll back to your feed of feel-good quotes. No validation cookies here. What we've got is straight dynamite, no fancy flavors. This ain't a TED Talk for the WhatsApp Empowerment Squad or some sponsored fluff to soothe your midlife ego meltdown. This is a mirror, the kind that doesn't slim you down, but exposes that emotional gut hanging off your pride. If it stings, good. Means your ego hasn't drowned in its own BS yet. No comfort zones allowed. Either level up or bolt and label this gaslighting because you couldn't handle the reality check. And for those living in fairy tale romance land, the emergency exit's wide open. Feel free to bounce with your make-believe dignity intact. Buckle up. Time to face the real female nightmare, not the side chick, not the ghosting on WhatsApp, and sure as hell not the vanished act. What truly shatters the queen of emotional strings is running into a guy who won't bend, won't beg, won't drop to his knees with a novel-length text pleading for round 2. A stoic who doesn't reply, doesn't flinch, and get this, keeps on living like she was never the sun in his sky. While she's spinning theories like an emotional CSI episode, hiding behind cliches like, I know my worth, the dude's chilling, ice cold, almost boringly at peace. And boom, her stage collapses. Because what she fears most isn't the hurt, it's becoming irrelevant. This guy, the stoic she brands heartless just cause he won't grovel for scraps, is the downfall of her unbreakable emotional empire. He doesn't yell, ghost out of spite, or drop passive-aggressive stories. He just doesn't react. And folks, that's the silence no likes or holistic therapy can fill. He's not a player. He's worse, untouchable. The one guy who doesn't fit her script. 'Cause he doesn't crave applause, no spotlight, no audience. He's the black screen cutting off her monologue mid-rant. And the poetry in it? She'll never admit this fear. She'll mask it with rage, disdain, rehearsed lines about self-love. But that chill down her spine lingers, 'cause deep down she knows this kind of man can't be bought, manipulated, and worst of all, he doesn't come crawling back. Oh, and before we dive in, let's get real. You didn't land here by cosmic magic. Blame the algorithm. And unlike you, it knows exactly what it's doing. If it dropped you here, there's something you've been dodging for years that you need to hear. So, if you want to keep pretending you've got it all figured out, that you've evolved, that you're grateful for the pain, drop that fake comment to save face. But if you've got a shred of honesty left, hold on tight. Today's Smackdown comes classy, but with brass knuckles. Let the emotional takedown begin. Number 1. The myth of the woman in charge. Ah, the classic tale that women rule the emotional battlefield, like every sigh from her lips is a divine order, and every ghosting move a chess play that'd leave any guy on his knees. Kudos to the fiction. It sells. But in real life, that so-called power only works on a niche crowd. Dudes with rock-bottom self-esteem, eager to twirl in the emotional submission dance just for a nod of approval. Those are the ones propping up the myth. The types who melt at a, hey stranger, and think a heart emoji seals cosmic peace. They're not conquered. They volunteer, willing shrinks, puppets with pride on layaway. Now, toss in her path a man who knows his worth, who doesn't freak over radio silence, who doesn't crumble 'cause she took 6 hours to reply. A guy who doesn't need phony affection to feel whole. A stoic. Then, honey, her script turns to emotional confetti. That Greek goddess of control melts like a candle in the Sahara. Manipulation flops. Strategy becomes a desperate grab for relevance that was never real. 'Cause what they called power was just a tamed audience. When the crowd stands up and walks out, show's over. She doesn't just lose control, she loses the superiority illusion. Deep down, her reign was built on male cowardice. When a guy shows up who doesn't fear the silent treatment, meltdowns, or empowerment caption tantrums, she chokes on the truth. Her power was a bedtime story told by men too weak to say no thanks. And that's when the breakdown hits. Controlling the controllable is easy. Bending what's off limits, that's the real challenge. When the unbreakable appears, she realizes her dominance was delusion. The only boss in control was her insecurity, dolled up as Queen Bee. Desperation kicks in when she gets that this one ain't coming back, won't fold, won't react. And what's a script without an audience? Just a wounded ego solo act. Number 2, the sting of subtle dismissal. There's a poison that doesn't burn right away, but eats through every layer of inflated ego. Subtle dismissal. That lack of reaction so smooth it doesn't even seem rude, but deep down, it's a quiet verdict of, you don't matter. And nah, she'll never own up to the damage. Admitting it would mean confessing her whole emotional kingdom crumbled before a guy who just didn't bite. While your average Joe chases, apologizes for existing, and treats every awkward vibe like a life or death rescue mission, the stoic steps in like a bored spectator. Bare minimum presence. Replies sharp and dry. Silence that screams. Eyes so blank they mirror back, showing her what's really there, nothing but her own reflection staring back. She tosses charm like grenades. He doesn't blink. She plays games. He reads it like generic meds instructions. No thrill, no shock. She vanishes. He thinks, sweet. She returns. He missed it. And her ego implodes in slow-mo with a forced grin and frantic pose recovery. Subtle dismissal ain't rudeness, 'cause the stoic doesn't raise his voice. He doesn't vanish with flair either. He just exists like he couldn't care less. And that's the dark magic. The more untouchable he seems, the harder she tries to reach. The less he validates, the more she self-sabotages. In that void of significance, she starts questioning. Did I lose my spark? Did he see me unfiltered? Does he really not give a damn? Each doubt shatters her vanity like glass. Nothing crushes someone hooked on attention more than being overlooked, not even ignored with flair. The stoic doesn't argue, doesn't clap back, doesn't block. He just stays out of the game. And opting out turns her every move into a cringy dance for unrequited props. That's where the real panic brews, realizing she might have met a man who can't be bent, charmed, or played. Subtle dismissal isn't assault, it's tactical absence. Silence that banishes, chill that erases, nothingness heavier than any yell. No matter how she smiles, shades him in stories, or fakes emotional high ground, the wreck's done. What hurts isn't what he did. It's everything he refused to do. That gap, my friend, is the scar even her go-to therapist can't cover up. Number 3, absence torments the spotlight seeker. Nothing dismantles an ego hooked on the limelight faster than silence from someone who couldn't care less about the show. The modern woman drilled in the school of likes, pro at flirty micro moves, master of timed ghosting flat out, can't handle one kind of absence. From the guy who doesn't need to be there. The stoic skips the good morning hearts, the gorgeous comments on pics, the pop-up notifications to keep things lukewarm. He just fades. Fades with the zen of someone who knows he doesn't need reminders to exist. Fades like he's saying, without me, you'll have to face yourself, and cue the meltdown. For someone who's always gotten applause before even stepping on stage, silence turns into an empty theater. Absence echoes, indifference mirrors. Every unanswered day is refined torture screaming, "You're not that irresistible." And she hears it, feels it, worst, believes it. She, with her lineup of emotional cheerleaders begging for a hey, now gets blanked by a guy who doesn't audition, who skips the crowd, who doesn't prove squat or strain to stay interesting. And that's unbearable. Suddenly, the emotional reins she swore she held evaporate, leaving anxiety that won't fit in her feed. She dissects every curt word like a horoscope hunting hope, replays bland chats like deleted scenes from a blockbuster romance. All 'cause he dipped not for games, but straight up disinterest. And that kind of absence, no filter hides it. The stoic doesn't punish, he just bows out. And that neutrality tortures the drama queen best. The woman fed on reactions now starves for attention. In that validation drought, her ego shrivels fast. The more she pokes, the less it lands. The harder she pushes presence, the more she gets nada. As the nada grows, she fears the tables turned. Not 'cause he's winning, but 'cause she finally sees she never held cards. The stoic's absence isn't cruel indifference. It's refusing to sit in her emotional stands. And that's the knockout. Spotlight junkies were never stars, just extras with diva vibes. Now, with the stage bare, she gets that the real pain ain't his ghosting. It's the over-the-top presence she always demanded to feel like somebody. Number 4. The paradox. What they crave most is what scares them deepest. Welcome to the main stage of emotional irony, where the woman preaching reciprocity, affection, and real connection shakes in her boots facing a guy who won't react, won't beg, won't turn fanboy. The stoic shows up, and zap her emotional wiring shorts out. The paradox is popcorn-worthy from the cheap seats, OBVs. The more unreachable the man, the more she wants him. And the more she wants, the more she panics over losing grip. See, she spent life collecting emotional followers, honing stares, killer lines, strategic dips, all to stay in command. But then comes a dude who eyes her whole act and doesn't clap. And folks, that's throne toppled. The stoic doesn't swoon, doesn't decode, doesn't join the soap opera. He's the character ditching the script. And that opt-out makes him her secret fix, forbidden crave, the emotional benchmark she'll deny forever. But it'll squat rent-free in her head, while the predictable guy is cozy emotional brunch, always on tap, pumping her ego like party balloons, the stoic's chic trauma. The name that lingers, the what-if haunting late nights, the unsent text, the notification she craves without owning it. Most wanted is most feared. 'Cause he's everything her ego can't tame. He doesn't beg attention, skips the games, stays unshaken by performative crises masked as passion. And what can't be ruled becomes obsession. She rationalizes, sure, fakes moving on, drops self-love essays, posts glow-up selfies with captions, but each try is a veiled yell for reaction. And him? Stone-faced like nothing went down. 'Cause for him, really, nothing did. That hurts worse than straight rejection. It's not just his absence stinging, it's the control vacuum, the brutal wake-up that for once, she's facing someone who doesn't need her, want her, or play with her. The stoic becomes the quiet trauma for the eternal controller. And her real fear, the one she won't spill even to her shrink, is this: crossing paths with another like him, another who won't bow, another who shows by not caring that her throne was always cardboard. And crave turns to torment, want to addiction, dominance to dependency. 'Cause her true nightmare isn't losing him, it's knowing he was never hers. Number 5. The female game's total collapse. And now the grand finale, where the theater folds, the lead forgets her lines, and the audience, bored of reruns, heads for the exits. The female game, this carnival of emotional ploys, timed ghosts, staged jealousy melts against the stoic's ice. The guy who won't buy a ticket, won't applaud, won't stick for the curtain call. She ghosts, expecting the chase like always. He breathes relief. She provokes, waiting for fireworks. He hands silence. She amps drama like a spotlight grab. He doesn't even join. Every emotional card she plays flops obvious against his surgical chill. The dude who's seen this script 1,000 times and never cracked a smile. What once worked like emotional voodoo now lands like a bad joke. The woman used to yanking strings in male ego puppet shows suddenly stands sans stage, sans lights, and worst sans control. Like a magician botching the trick mid-act, realizing no one's watching. The stoic doesn't yell enough or turn life coach. He dismantles with cruel finesse, total absence. He neither denies nor validates, he just doesn't care. And that icy neutrality nukes her emotional empire. The female ego, spoiled by male predictability, slams into the harshest truth. No playbook when the other won't read. And cue desperation. Without rules, replies, reactions. No game. She sees her dominance was propped by guys letting her win on purpose. When the stoic exits stage left, only void remains. A void he doesn't fill, comment on, or excuse. Silence not meant to punish, but punishing perfectly. She claws back control with old tricks, charm, absence, scripted texts. But the more she pushes, the deeper he fades into indifference fog. 'Cause the stoic doesn't play, ain't got time. And her mastered game ends with a defeat as quiet as it is final. The prize? A hard humility lesson for the lifelong rulemaker. Number 6. The stoic doesn't explain, justify, or ask permission. This is where the female ego silently screams and twists in frustration. Discovering a man who skips justifications, skips essay texts, skips breakup drama. The stoic's the nightmare sans soundtrack, the dip sans warning, the vibe that never begs entry. He doesn't reply out of duty, doesn't chat for politeness, doesn't bend to "you vanished" with fake misface. If he ain't feeling it, he ghosts. If it's phony, he skips. Spots manipulation? He watches like catching a flop play and bailing mid-scene. The stoic hands women what they rarely get. Boundaries. Not yelled or rude ones. Worse. The unbreakable wall of self-sufficiency. He doesn't sweat misreads, cancellations, or shock rejection. 'Cause he wasn't born to please crowds. That emotional freedom nukes her playbook, which traded affection like coins, guilt like chains, male neediness as power base. But the stoic skips guilt, skips explanations. Doesn't debate, feels like saving a blaze, he walks from the fire, lets chaos burn solo. The sweetest part? He doesn't dish this as payback. It's just him. No people-pleasing, no bargaining presence, no bending to disrespect. And for the chronic weak spot exploiter, that's a silent quake. Either she respects his absence and deals with the unspoken no echo, or keeps playing a void that gives zero crumbs. 'Cause the stoic doesn't respond, he withdraws, and his absence hits heavier than 1,000 needy vibes. The world might wait for sorries, she might crave reasons, but the stoic delivers only what he's got. Peace, non-negotiable, unshakable, immune to blackmail. When she finally grasps, he won't bow, beg space, or plead understanding. Her command-hungry ego swallows truth. She never held the reins she claimed. That's when fear flips to respect, and respect scars elegantly. No more pain, but unforgettable. Number 7, the ghost that won't fade. Now the real psych thriller unfolds. The stoic, who skips noise, fake nostalgia returns, midnight texts, just never leaves her mind. He dips with grace, sans scandal, but leaves an emotional trail impossible to scrub. No shades, no story reacts, no comebacks. Yet he's there between a lame like from a new suitor and bland chat with another eager pleaser. Every fresh guy becomes comparison. Every fresh start reminds her of what she couldn't own. 'Cause the stoic wasn't romance. He was absence done right. Chill managed masterfully. Silence as benchmark. He became the name she skips mentioning but sets the bar. The one who dodged emotional traps and thus became what she couldn't control. She distracts, sure, dives into recycled flings, expiry date dramas, empowerment rants between slips. But he's steady, subtle, annoyingly present. Not 'cause he wants, but 'cause she can't let go. How forget the only one who never knelt? The stoic skips explanations, reappears, second chances. But his absence sets standards, and each new face just amps the memory of the unchained. Like an emotional virus, quiet, no boom, but rewires everything. She might post 1,000 freedom quotes, self-love, real man essays. Might ink restarts, take EQ classes. But his name lingers deep, like a stubborn notification. And so, sans promises, sans returns, sans closure tease, the stoic immortalizes, not as mistake, but the exception she couldn't game. He wasn't the best, he was unreachable. That's what makes him her mind's top ghost. 'Cause what you can't conquer sticks forever. Number 8. Why she'll never admit it, but always feel it. We hit the most dramatic grief phase, performative denial. The woman, ego-stitched with "I'm better off" speeches, acts immune to the stoic's void. Publicly, she spits armchair psych takes. Cold guys are emotionally unavailable. That's unresolved trauma. Never knew love. Translation: it hurt so bad I gotta mask it. She laughs him off but chews bitterness. Claims closure but keeps name-dropping. Throws shade as digs. Turns him into group chat jokes but hit a random sleepless night, and there she is, facing her own powerlessness. 'Cause the stoic never left. He just stopped replying. Every new, sweet guy becomes unwitting benchmark guinea pig. Every easy affection reminds the one she truly wanted didn't chase, and it eats her. No empowerment withstands the constant echo of who never bowed to her ego. She'll deny till the end. Repeat, dodged a bullet, claim, I'm the prize. But between glow-up stories, his name sneaks in, even as bad example. And guess what? Real movers on don't justify. Constant mentions mean deeper feels. The stoic's the glitch in her emotional code. Not for cruelty, but for being first to not bow, apologize, yield to old theatrics. And for the applause-built self-worth, that's unforgivable. She can't accept he left, sans ever being hers. Her biggest fear ain't admitting loss. It's knowing, deep, she might never meet another who dethrones her so stylishly, who ignores with precision, who marks without touch. Denying's easy, feeling's unavoidable, forgetting, luxury her ego skips. Number 9. The endless loop. When the stoic becomes the standard, comes a point where the game's stale, script repeats, and the lead, swearing new chapter, sees she's just remixing the same void. Here's where the stoic shifts from memory to benchmark. No longer the ex, the emotional yardstick that measures and humiliates every reboot. Each new guy struts in thinking epic tale. Poor sap. Unaware he's in a silent audition, stacked against an unreachable bar, and worse, oblivious it exists. He dotes. She hunts chill. He surrenders. She balks. 'Cause what she hated, now addicts. The stoic, with monumental absence, sets the tone. A burn from cold, addictive dismissal. She pushes forward, sure, vows fresh starts, convinces this one's different, it'll work. But nah, none enforce boundaries, none dip mid-plot, none rattle her enough for crave. Cue self-sabotage. She amps non-issues, invents fights, demands absent voids, stirs chaos chasing stoic vibes, but nets frustration. 'Cause she's not seeking love. It's the emotional jolt only he delivered. Every bond's veiled comp. Every love tries hunt for challenge sans flattery. Sans begging space, sans stooping. But no one nails it. 'Cause the stoic's uncopyable. No games, just non-participation. And that absence claimed more real estate than any cling. The loop spins eternal. Deny, try, flop, restart, dream, crash. And his name, sworn forgotten, echoes as unresolved ache disguised as nostalgia. The stoic's benchmark, 'cause he never tried special. No effort, no ties, no memory, please. Exactly why he haunts. And sans spotlight grab, he stays the gold standard, not for being best, for daring elegant absence. Number 10, the legacy, respect, fear, and eternal recalls. In the end, while emotional extras beg attention with WhatsApp novels and Insta antics, the stoic wraps the show sans words. He never sought props, validation, icon status, yet becomes benchmark. His legacy's built on what he withholds, need. He skips unforgettable X lists with fake nostalgia. No symbolic ink or birthday nods, but pops up always in minds claiming closure. His name's hushed, 'cause voicing's defeat, but recalled every replacement flop. The respect he commands needs no announcement. Felt in unease, quiet regrets, targetless rage. His fear factor, pure psych no physicals. The dread of never finding another who sets boundaries with chill from self-sustained life. Game free. The stoic's legend from doing less. While others yell, "See me," he lives spotlight free. While needies dramatize for spots, he turns absence to verdict. That's what etches him. His lack says it all. Every unbartered no, every unexplained boundary, every drama-free exit builds indelible emotional memory. 'Cause the stoics feared not for meanness, but untouchability. He doesn't yell, threaten, fight, just opts out. And that not there outweighs any overkill presence. Real legacy, remembered for refusals, respected by deniers, feared cause untamable. He legends not by aiming unforgettable, by never being basic. And that's the divide. While world squeezes into her mold, he stays the unreachable template. Lethal closeout. Bottom line, reality's cruelest twist ain't what's said, but what lingers unsaid long after chatter dies. The stoic, this calculated absence monument is just that. Eternal presence from zero effort. She claims hate, bashes, mocks, jokes, but name drops like trauma laced with addiction. Let's face it, no one obsesses proving forgetfulness over the truly forgotten. He skipped flowers, vows, Spotify mixes. Left deadlier, discomfort, doubt, powerlessness, no likes, flings, or glow-up rants erase. The stoic ain't a man. He's nagging memory, hidden benchmark, mirror she dodges. Respected by mockers, craved by cold shade throwers, feared sweetest bit by fake indifference. 'Cause fear ain't losing anyone. Real terror, meeting the unbowed, unbegging, unshaken. True horror, realizing amid full stands, no sub fills the void of the applause-free. If you get this, congrats. Graduated emotional kindergarten. If it hurt, spot on pain's ego learning it ain't boss. Now drop in comments. I'm the fear no one owns. Remember, the stoic skips volume, sometimes skips talk. He just exists. And that's enough to be an ego's fave nightmare, the one thinking world spun round its control. Torn between being another or the cherished ghost in someone else's heart history. the stoic picked. Best part? Wordless.